Hi, welcome to the ŠKODA Finance Lease&Care session, which originally ran in January 2021 in Leap. This session will take you through the ŠKODA Finance Lease&Care product, give you an overview and help you to understand how the product works so that you can have meaningful conversations with your customers to allow them to make an informed decision. Today's agenda will cover the following. We'll have a look at why ŠKODA Finance decided to come up with a product called Lease&Care to support the launch of the electric vehicle range and more specifically the Enyaq. We'll have a look at the product itself and have a bit of an overview of it. We'll have a look to see what happens at the customer's end of contract and the options that they have. There'll be a Kahoot quiz available to you should you wish to take part. And we'll have a look at the support that's available as well. And finally, we'll finish up with a Q&A and we'll cover all of the questions that were asked in the sessions that ran in January 2021. So why Lease&Care? Why did ŠKODA Finance decide to create a product to support the launch of the electric vehicle? Well, it started with customer feedback. They told us about specific concerns that they had and barriers in front of them about making the transition from combustion engine vehicles to electric vehicles, many of which you can see on the screen now. But to cover a few of the most obvious ones, they had concerns around depreciation costs and concerns about how much these vehicles would actually hold their value in 2, 3 and 4 years time. This is the unknown for the customer and is a real concern. They had concerns about how difficult it would be and how it might not fit in with their lifestyle. We also had a look at some concerns that customers were telling us from the wider market and not just our own customers. So Auto Trader, for example, ran a survey across the whole of the UK and they found that 70% of drivers would rather lease an electric vehicle for a period of 2 to 3 years before buying it outright. Another name you might recognise is Facebook. Facebook ran a worldwide survey and they found that most customers would like to try before they buy when they transition from a combustion engine vehicle to an electric vehicle. The reason given for this was because they wanted to make sure that it fits in with their lifestyle. This would need more than an hour's test drive or even borrowing it for a weekend. They really wanted to make sure that it fit in with all aspects of their life. So let's go back to our customer concerns that we found at ŠKODA Financial Services. As we said earlier, customers had concerns about servicing and maintenance of an electric vehicle. Well, the good news is that Lease&Care absolutely addresses some of those problems. Care packages that are built mean that it's hassle-free for a customer and includes things like service and can include things like maintenance as well in one monthly payment. The customer said they had depreciation concerns. Well, Lease&Care is a leasing product. This means that the customer doesn't and won't own the vehicle, so they don't have to worry about how much the vehicle is going to be worth in 2, 3 or 4 years time. They just start all over again in a brand new model. Customers told us that they were looking for a bundled package. Well, that's exactly what Lease&Care does. It gives them one monthly payment with all of their added value and added benefit in one package for them. And finally, customers told us that it was too much hassle to switch to an electric vehicle. Well, the good news is that Lease&Care is so simple, takes all of the hassle out of that for the customer, gives them one monthly payment to have a look at, see the value in and decide if they can afford it. And as we said earlier, customers told us through people like Auto Trader and Facebook that they really wanted to try before they buy, have an extended test drive if you like, to make sure that it was suitable for their lifestyle. Well, as I said earlier, Lease&Care is a leasing product, so that means exactly that. Customers can try for a 2-year period, for example, and at the end, if it doesn't suit them, they simply hand the keys back, but we'll cover that in a bit more detail in a second. So now that we understand what Lease&Care delivers for our customers and why ŠKODA Financial Services decided to come to the marketplace with a new product, let's have a look at what it means for us in the brand, us in the finance company, and for you guys in the retail network as well. When we looked at some of our customer feedback, we realized that we needed to change our thinking and the language that we use. We needed to move away from ownership models to usership models. So for example, PCP is a purchase product, but Lease&Care is very much about how the customer uses the vehicle. We needed to start thinking away from new and used vehicles and start thinking about first and second life cycle of the same vehicle to give us that second bite at the cherry, if you like. And that's exactly what Lease&Care does. It's a leasing product, so it means that we will retain ownership at ŠKODA Financial Services of the vehicle. And at the end of the contract, it stays within our ecosystem. Of course, the more we can do this, it means that we have exclusivity over great vehicles like the Enyaq. This will help to support our influence over the residual values and in turn over the monthly payments. You can then see how we'll be able to lease the same vehicle into its second life cycle because we've retained ownership. We will then look at ŠKODA Financial Services to redistribute that vehicle out into the ŠKODA network for a brand new customer to release, hopefully on Lease&Care, all over again. Lease&Care will have built-in service plans. You have to remember that electric vehicles are much less and lower maintenance than the combustion engine equivalents, so volume is going to be key to success, and Lease&Care helps to retain customers and also the after sales work as well. So it's going to drive requirements back to your branded workshops. And finally, and really importantly, customers told us that it was going to be hassle-free to jump from a petrol or diesel engine into an electric vehicle. Well, the great news about Lease&Care is it helps the customer with all of that hassle. It puts things in a nice, easy package in one monthly payment. This will hopefully support sales of electric vehicles as well. So now that we understand what it does for our customer, we understand what it does for us as a brand, and also what it does for you guys in the retail network, let's have a look at the product itself. The good news is that Lease&Care is really very simple. Once the customer has decided their initial rental and how much they'd like to put down, this initial rental, by the way, can be as small as one initial payment up front. The customer then simply has to answer 3 questions. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Number 1, how long would you like to drive your Enyaq for? That then determines the contract length. Number 2, how many miles do you do? And of course, number 3, when it comes to Lease&Care, we need to know which care package they'd like. Now, the good news with the care package is that we've packaged them nice and easy as small, medium, and large. Now that we understand how the product works, let's unpack those 3 elements in a bit more detail. The first question was, how long would you like to drive your vehicle for? Customers can choose a Lease&Care product either on 2, 3, or 4 years. To be clear, you can't have derivatives of 1 month in between those. So for example, the customer wouldn't be able to choose a 42-month term or a 35-month term. It's only 2, 3, or 4 years. But this does allow the customer to try before they buy, as they indicated they would like to previously. The second question was, how many miles would you be doing per annum? Well, Lease&Care offers a real breadth here. 10,000 up to 60,000 miles per annum for a Lease&Care agreement. So if the customer decides on a 2-year agreement, of course, they'd be able to do a maximum of 120,000 miles per year. The other added flexibility that Lease&Care gives over some other products such as PCP is that the customer can change their mileage once per year during the life of the agreement. So if they choose a 3-year term, they could choose to change their mileage 3 times during the contract. And then finally, as we said, we're looking to understand which care package the customer would like. And they are really very simple in terms of their marketing. Small, medium, and large care packages can be offered to the customer. These are built in, so the small care package is as standard. This is built in as standard in the product, and it means that when the customer sees their monthly payment, it's all included for them. So let's have a look at those care packages in a bit more detail. The small care package, which again remember comes as standard for every single Lease&Care customer, includes routine manufacturer servicing. It also includes the driver line concierge service, which I'll cover in a bit more detail, and roadside assistance. The key to the roadside assistance is that if the customer chooses to have a 4-year contract, for example, that roadside assistance is extended for the life of the agreement. The medium care package has everything in small, plus everything you can see on your screen now in the medium care package as well. As you can see, it's predominantly maintenance. And the large care package is everything in small, plus everything in medium, as well as tyres, which gives you your large care package for your customer. Of course, if the customer decides to upgrade to medium or to large, there is an incremental cost in their monthly payments. Every single Lease&Care customer has the small care package included as standard. So in addition to that, we also must make sure they understand that there are some added value benefits as well. again all included in their one monthly payment. The road fund license is covered and will be renewed by ŠKODA Financial Services. We'll give the customer confirmation of those renewals as well annually. The driver line concierge service, which is a dedicated phone line for all of the customer's motoring needs, is automatically signed up for the customer on every single Lease&Care product. And the insurance product is also offered as well. Now the insurance is not insurance, it does work alongside the customer's fully comp insurance that they would need to pay for separately themselves, but it helps as a free accident and repair cover to ensure that any work needed will always come back to you guys in the retail network and our approved repairers. And finally, every single Lease&Care customer will receive a 20% discount on rent-a-car. Now, if you understand and you know what rent-a-car is, great. If you don't, it's what it says on the tin. It gives the customer the option to rent a VAG vehicle. For example, if they wanted to rent a combustion engine vehicle for the weekend and make a long journey, then they would be able to do so at a discounted rate by 20%. All ŠKODA Lease&Care customers also have the option, if they want to add 7 days per annum rent-a-car allowance to their monthly payments at, again, a discounted rate by 20%. Let's have a little look now at the end of contract options for a Lease&Care customer. Is that the customer of a Lease&Care has flexible options in very much the same way they do as PCP. The first option for our customers would be to hand the vehicle back. Now the customer would have to pay any excess mileage charges like they would on PCP, for example, and any fair wear and tear charges, again like they would on PCP. But what this does do is it reduces the concern of depreciation that the customer raised for us earlier on in the presentation. The second option for our customer is to extend the agreement. Now this is a formal extension. It will be a new contract and it can either be for 1, 2 or 3 years. The only caveat here is that the same customer cannot lease the same vehicle for more than 5 years in a row. So for example, if a new customer wanted to lease the same vehicle, they absolutely could. This gives the customer the option to wait for a new model if they want to at the end of their contract. However, our goal and our aim, of course, will be to renew our customers, and we'll do this in exactly the same way as we would a purchase product like PCP, for example. The customer would hand the vehicle back, as per option 1 on your screen, and they just start all over again in a brand new Lease&Care agreement. So let's just take a pause, recharge our batteries, and make sure that we understand some of the key messages from the presentation so far. Lease&Care is a brand new product that's designed to support our customers' transition to electric vehicles. It is a leasing product, and so the customer will never own the vehicle, not during the contract, and they won't be offered the opportunity to own the vehicle at the end of the contract either. It has built-in care packages as standard, so the small care package comes with every Lease&Care quote that you guys will give to a customer. It's designed to make things hassle-free, and the added value, of course, will be seen in things like the concierge service, the service and maintenance that's built in, and the rent-a-car discount as well. The customer can choose between 24, 36 and 48-month terms. Again, remember that customers have told us they'd like to try before they buy for a 2 to 3 year period. This means they can lease it for that period, and then at the end, if they want to, they can purchase another Enyaq or another electric vehicle, or hopefully they can just start all over again. And like I said, at the end, the customer will have 3 choices. They can either hand the vehicle back with fair wear and tear costs and excess mileage charges. They can extend it if they want to for 1, 2 or 3 years, or of course, we'd want them to renew with us. During the session that ran in January 2021, we actually held a Kahoot quiz just to check knowledge and understanding. That Kahoot quiz can be accessed by looking at this link. If you can and have the ability to, just copy that link into a browser and you'll be able to take the quiz yourself. For now though, we'll move on. When we originally ran this session in January 2021, there were lots of really good questions that came out from the retail network about the product, and we've recorded some of those questions and some of those answers for you now in this presentation. So we're just going to run through some of those. Question number 1, is Lease&Care only for the ENIAC? And the answer is yes, although the other electric models will be added as they launch to leasing. Question number 2, will ENIAC only be available on Lease&Care? And the answer is no. ENIACs are going to be available on all finance products, including PCP. But the support, the strategic support from the brand and from ŠKODA Finance will absolutely be behind ŠKODA Lease&Care. Are the rules and the costs of terminating a Lease&Care product early the same as contract hire? And the answer here is yes, they're almost identical. That full product guide that I mentioned earlier on will give you further information, but in summary, the customer will need to pay a percentage of the outstanding rentals at the point of which they wish to terminate early. Is there a limit to how many times mileage can be altered in the contract? And the answer here is yes, it's once per annum, but not in the first or the last 6 months of. Can retailers change tyres under a Lease&Care care package? And the answer is yes, they can, very much in the same way as they do. Is the extension of a Lease&Care counted as a renewal? The answer here, guys, is we're not sure. The extension product as it is still in development, and it won't be required for at least 2 years from this point. And so we simply don't know. But of course, we'll communicate to you guys how that's going to work as and when the product launches. Can Lease&Care be used for a used ENIAC, including ex-demos? The answer here is the option is currently being developed for vehicles that are less than 1 year old, but eventually Lease&Care will be able to have used vehicles, including ex-demos that are older. Is there a dock fee to be earned for Lease&Care, and how much is it? Well, of course, yes, there'll be a dock fee that you guys will be able to earn. How much it is will be communicated when the product launches, but just so that you know, it will be the same for all 3 of the care packages. Is the cost of the care package different for different models? On launch of the care package, the cost will be exactly the same for the ENIAC across different models. So for example, the ENIAC 60, the cost of the care package alone will be the same for the ENIAC 80. That's just to make it nice and clear and transparent. Will it count towards target? Well, the answer is no. Lease&Care is only available on the ENIAC, and you guys don't have an ENIAC target in your 21 business files. Will this count as a retail sale or fleet? The answer is if it's sold as a private individual, the sale is retail. ENIAC is not included in the 2021 targets though, don't forget, therefore it's not going to have a contract. Is the process the same as agency, i.e. that you have to order through SLI? Just to be clear, guys, this is not an agency proposal. So the full end-to-end process guide is being created and will be with you guys shortly on the hub, but it's not an agency deal. Therefore, you will need to supply an invoice in the same way that you do PCP. Will the Lease&Care customer video be on the ŠKODA app? As I mentioned earlier, yes, absolutely. It'll be on the digital assistant shortly, as will all of the other supporting information, such as the full. Thank you very much for watching this short video. We hope that you've enjoyed it, and we hope that you've got all of the information you need to be able to have meaningful conversations about ŠKODA Lease&Care with your customers to allow them to make an informed decision. If you need any more information or any of those guides that I mentioned in the video, please contact your ŠKODA Sales Development Manager. Thank you very much.